Shabbat Shalom. It's so wonderful to all be here together this evening. Shabbat Shalom to Rabbi Vivian. It's wonderful that you're here with all of us tonight. And Shabbat Shalom to Jules and Ruth and Taco and to Lucy. Since we just introduced one dog, we may as well introduce that canine member of the family first. And Wendy and John, and it's wonderful to be here. Hi, Shelley Rosenberg. It's great to be here together. Shabbat Shalom to Rich. Shabbat Shalom, Steve and Sandy and Shelley and Warren. And it's so great to be here. And as folks come in, I want to encourage you to introduce yourselves in the chat so that we get a sense of who's here tonight, at least those of us who are joining live over YouTube this evening. And apologies to those who are watching the stream after it has already been archived and we don't have the opportunity to say Shabbat Shalom together in person. Shabbat Shalom to Ben and the rest of the Wachtel family. It's great to have you here. We're going to begin this evening with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. We are going to be using tonight Siddur Kol HaNeshama as it has been made available to us by PDF. So we have here our PDF packet. For those who don't have access to the packet yet, let me, as I have been doing each week, send the link through the chat so that folks can access it who don't have a Siddur handy, and especially who don't have this, even if you have a Siddur handy, who don't have the packet handy, so that we can all literally be on the same page together. The page numbers that I'm going to be calling tonight are from not Siddur Kol HaNeshama, the book, but from our Kol HaNeshama prayer packets. And I'm going to grab the link right now so that I can attach it in, so that I can share it in the chat. Okay, here is the link. And Shabbat Shalom, Joseph. It's wonderful to be here with you tonight. And so as we open our Siddurim, we're going to start at the top of page 1. Let us bless the source of life that ripens the fruit on the vine as we hallow the seventh day, the Sabbath day, in remembrance of creation. For the Sabbath, Shabbat, is first among holy days, recalling the Exodus and the covenant. And we get our Shabbat candlesticks ready, and we gather together as we bring in the lights of Shabbat. Oh, and for those who are wondering, my typical candle lighting buddy has, for the second Shabbat evening in a row, fallen asleep before 7 p.m. So Bina, unfortunately, is asleep tonight, so I'll be lighting candles solo this evening. If anyone has a direct connection to her other than me and can help her to maybe take a nap on Friday afternoon so that she can join us for services, that would be welcome. But for those who are trying to keep score at home, no Bina sightings tonight. She is asleep for the night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 1. Lechu neranena Adonai, Naria letzor hishenu, Nikadma fanav betoda, Bismirot Naria lo kiel gadol Adonai. Arbaim shana kut bedor, va'umaram toe levav heim, vehem lo yadu drachai, asher nishpati be'api, im yavon el menuchati. Page 2. As we sing a new song to God. Last week we celebrated Pesach around our tables, across the internet, around the world. I've heard stories throughout our Or Hadash community of people gathering on multiple continents via Zoom, and even people just connecting down the street from one another by Zoom as we brought in this holiday, celebrating our liberation while we sat in quarantine. It's kind of a very weird mashup of circumstances, but out of it for so many of us came both something a little bit bitter and also something a little bit sweet, as we discovered that even in this moment of isolation, even in this moment of contagion, of living in this world which is under sort of threat of this global pandemic, that we can find moments of sweetness, that we can find moments of togetherness, that we can perhaps connect with people with whom we would not have otherwise connected this year. And so it is in that spirit that we raise our voices this Shabbat after Pesach, in a new song, Shiru Ladonai Shir Hadash. Sing to the Holy One a new song. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Sing to Adonai the entire world. Sing to Adonai, Baruch Shemo, bless that holy name, Basaru miyom leyom Yeshuato. And we should sing out day after day after day about liberation, about freedom, about salvation. And so as we sing Psalm 96 on page 2, I want to invite people in the chat to share what is a kind of liberation that you have experienced, or that you experienced over the course of this Pesach. What is, even in this isolation, even within this time of quarantine, what is a taste of freedom, a taste of salvation, a taste of that sweetness of relief, and perhaps that you're holding on as we sing a new song this Shabbat. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basaru miyom leyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basaru miyom leyom Yeshua. I think I'm having connectivity issues. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basaru miyom leyom Yeshua. It may be back. Basaru miyom leyom Yeshua. And we turn together to page 5 in our packets, Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid, Havu Ladonai b'nei Elim, Havu shemo ishtachavu l'Adonai v'hadrat kodesh kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim Adonai al mayim rabim kol Adonai b'koach kol Adonai be'adar kol Adonai shover harazim v'yishaber Adonai et arzei halvanon v'yarkidem k'mo hegel Lebanon v'Sirion kemo vein re'emim kol Adonai chotzev lahavotesh kol Adonai yachil midbar yachil Adonai midbar kadesh kol Adonai yicholel ayalot v'yechesof yeharot uv'hechalot kulo omer kavod Adonai lama bu yashav yishev Adonai melech leolam Adonai oz le'amo yitain Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom Page 6 at the top of the page as we hold these moments of liberation in our hearts, having a violin lesson on Skype, dancing around the house with our kids, all of these beautiful moments, whether we are across the township from one another, across the state, across the country, or maybe even just across our dining room tables. We join together for Lecha Dodi as we greet the Shabbat bride and welcome in this sweet, sweet day of rest. Page 6. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yanadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yanadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad hishmi'anu el hameyuchad Adonai echad l'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litchila. Hey, lecha dodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor ha'beracha mirosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'ase b'machshava tchila. Hey, lecha dodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri hitoreri ki va'orech umi uri ay 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 uri uri shir daberi kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Hey, lecha dodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Page 7, the third paragraph. Yamin u'smol tifrotzi v'et Adonai ta'aritz ay 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 al yadish ben parts Yananai, B'nai Shabbat, Nekabela. We rise in spirit or in body and face the entrances of our homes. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzocholai, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, hey, lecha dodi likrat kala, yananai, B'nai Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yananai, B'nai Shabbat, nekabela. We can be seated. The bottom of page 7, our psalm for Shabbat. And we are going to sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines from the top of that psalm. The words are Ma gadlu ma'asecha ya me'od amku machshavoteha. Or perhaps just a single word of praise, the word hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 my God, my Savior, hallelujah, me'odam kum machshavotecha, my God, my Savior, me'odam kum machshavotecha, hallelujah, my God, my Savior, me'odam kum machshavotecha, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Page 8. Tzadik katamar yifrach kerez balavanon yizkeh shetulim bevet Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseiva deshenim bera'ananim lahagid ki yashar Adonai tzuri velo avlatavo. Shabbat Shalom. As we transition out of Kabbalat Shabbat, our psalms and songs and reflections to welcome in the spirit of Shabbat, the Shabbat bride, that neshama yetera, that extra soul peace that we invite into our homes, into our hearts during these 25 hours of rest, during this big inhale and perhaps this big exhale at the end of our week. We also take a moment to greet one another. If you haven't done so, I want to invite you to introduce yourself in the chat. It's so wonderful to all be here together. Since last I took a peek at the chat to welcome folks, I wanted to welcome Anita and Eileen and Dan. It's so wonderful, Shabbat Shalom, to all be here together. So please take a second just as we prepare to gather for the Barchu as we rise in body or in spirit on page 9 to greet one another. Because the Barchu is that moment where we check in with community, where we check in and make sure that we have a minyan, where we check in and make sure that our phones are off or silenced or perhaps left on the other side of the house on some charger off somewhere. It's that time that we check in with ourselves to see, has the singing of Kabbalat Shabbat prepared me to enter in to the next day, prepared me to turn the corner from Friday the day into Friday night, the beginning of Shabbat? And as we check in with one another on our chat and in our homes around our tables, we say Shabbat Shalom also to the healthy Adler family. It's wonderful to have you here and back in good health. And we rise together in spirit or in body for the Barchu, page 9. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. And the blessing gives us strength and makes our vision clear. And the blessing gives us peace and the courage to dare. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed. An interpretive Ma'ariv Aravim, a poem by Rabbi Annie Lewis. Erev, Ha-Ma'ariv Aravim, God who brings evenings. You are the master of transitions, the artist of Ma'aravim, and we, your people, we are called Ivrim, those who pass from one place to the next, who travel to the edge, who seek you in the in-between. We and you forever becoming, rolling dust into twilight and darkness into dawn. As you preside over time, the sun rises up and bows low. The moon stretches out and curls in. Our bodies wax and wane. Everything is on the move. Light floods in and fades away. You offer us sparks of holy time, soul, and space. When Shabbat comes in stillness, we breathe. We are whole. We are here. Elechai v'kayam, tamidim lo chaleinu leolam vaed. Baruch ata Adonai, hamariv aravim. Page 10, we read together at the bottom of the page. We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved by an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved by an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. Blessed are you, beloved one, who loves your people Israel. Baruch ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 11, the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha v'aderech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kashartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chetavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisha'arecha. We continue silently with one of the two biblical passages that follows. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Page 14, we read together this poem by Walt Whitman, which not only is a lovely poem in its own right, but I also wanted to include tonight because they shared with me that it is one of the Schiffman McLaughlin's favorite poems. And so for the whole Schiffman McLaughlin family, whether you're here with us in person tonight or catching the stream after dinner or at another point, we read together the poem Miracles by Walt Whitman on page 14. Why? Who makes much of a miracle? As to me, I know of nothing else but miracles. Whether I walk the streets of Manhattan, or dart my sight over the roofs of houses toward the sky, or wade with naked feet along the beach just in the edge of the water, or stand under trees in the woods, or talk by day with anyone I love, or sleep in the bed at night with anyone I love, or sit at table at dinner with the rest, or look at strangers opposite me riding the car, or watch honeybees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon, or animals feeding the fields, or birds, or the wonderfulness of insects in the air, or the wonderfulness of sundown, or of stars shining so quiet and bright, or the exquisite, delicate, thin curve of the new moon in spring. These with the rest, one and all, and to me, miracles. The whole referring, yet each distinct and in its place. To me, every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. The fishes that swim, the rocks, the motion of the wave, the ships with men in them. What stranger miracles are there? And as we sing Mi Chamocha on the bottom of page 14, I invite you to add in the chat your miracles to those of Walt Whitman as we marvel at the miraculous, even in the midst of this wilderness through which we journey together. Mi Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miad chazak mimenu. Baruch ata Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Page 15. When fears multiply and danger threatens, when sickness comes, when death confronts us, it is God's blessing of Shalom that sustains us and upholds us, lightening our burden, dispelling our worry, restoring, renewing our hope, reviving us. Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shalom Echa, Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shalom Echa, spread over us the shelter of your peace. Sukkot, Shalom Echa. Baruch ata Adonai, haporei Sukkot Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'al Yerushalayim. And as we watch all of these miracles coming in through the chat, this image of a Sukkot Shalom, of a shelter of peace, resonates through the miraculous into the wilderness and perhaps becomes our sukkah of peace, our shelter. Remembering these moments of the miraculous, carrying them with us, or perhaps experiencing them cyclically, that we notice that even in those moments where we perhaps didn't see them at first, when we look around and we glimpse through the eyes of the other, through the eyes of someone remembering the miracle of watching a birth, staying healthy, spring blossoming, international virtual seders, welcoming children, whether in expected or unexpected ways, watching the trees move in the wind, the miracle, all of these miracles, that when we look through the eyes of one another, we notice that that sukkah of peace, that shelter of wholeness holding us has perhaps been there all along, because we watch the ways in which each of us weaves it for one another. So I want to offer that as a kavanah, as an intention, as we rise in spirit or in body for the Amidah on page 17, silent for the evening. And so we will read together on the bottom of page 16, the kavanah, the intention, the poem by Rabbi Sheila Peltz-Weinberg, and then move into some time for silent prayer, whether it's the words on the page, beginning on page 17, in Hebrew or in English, a book of poetry of your choice, or perhaps the prayers that no Siddur committee could ever know, the prayers of our own hearts. And so we rise in spirit or in body and read together on the bottom of page 16 and then move into the Amidah. Dear God, open the blocked passageways to you, the congealed places. Roll away the heavy stone from the well as your servant Jacob did when he beheld his beloved Rachel. Help us open the doors of trust that have been jammed with hurt and rejection. As you open the blossoms in spring, even as you open the heavens in storm, open us to feel your great, awesome, wonderful presence. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to all be here together. I feel like there is something special about that moment when we emerge from silent prayer, when we emerge from our Amidah, and we find ourselves at once coming out of a space that is private, that is quiet, that is solitary, and also realizing that the whole time we've been part of community, that we've been on our own, but we've also never been alone. And in that moment of reconnecting with the reality of community surrounding us, whether literally with us in our own homes or across all of the geography that divides us but actually doesn't. I always feel called to welcome us back together, wish us a Shabbat Shalom again, because here we are in community, as we have been the whole time, but perhaps on the other side of our silent prayer, different. And it is in this moment of difference, in this moment of reconnection, that we also turn to our prayer for healing. Because as we emerge from our place of self and reconnect with the others all around us, we also notice the others who are not here, or the others who are here differently from how they were here at other moments in other weeks. The news that we have received during the week, perhaps in some of our homes and perhaps in some of our circles of friends, of illness, of recovery, of hardship. As we open our eyes and reconnect with one another, we also reconnect with all of those in all of our concentric circles of community as we share together in our prayer for healing. And as we sing our Mishaberach prayer, I want to invite people to share names of those you're thinking of who are in need of healing of body, healing of mind, healing of soul, in the chat. And I'm also going to share the names of those whom I have on our Mishaberach list, and together we will bring our collective consciousness towards them. Perhaps folks that we know who maybe we can reach out to over the course of this week, perhaps folks that we don't know, last names that sound familiar, and all together we share in sending them our healing energy and also the energy of our hands. This week at Or Hadash, we're thinking of Roberta Archibald, Arden Bell, Jillian Eve Bach, Rabbi Deborah Bowen, Sarah Sarulnik, Bill Conrad, Robin Cuppo, Francesca Dever, Eric Gershman, Jonathan Giannini, George Glansberg, Gail Glansberg, Hal Goodman, Amy Gross, Sheila Guthrie, Alberta Hall, Cordula Hamish, Chava Hurley, Michelle Kalish, Sharon Cass, Fran Kaufman, Elsie Lieberstein, Len McEwen, Robert Mueller, William Mueller, Anthony Nero, Lisa Nicholson, Mike Oswald, Stan Pollock, Abby Rosenberg, Mike Rosenberg, Shelley Sanders, Willie Schneer, Bertha Schwartz, Tricia Slater, Margaret Steiber, Ellen Stewerman, Lloyd Suter, Lynn Van Engel, Isabel Vita, Stan Weckstein, Millie Weissman, Grace Zangwill, Eileen Zeff, and all of those whose names are being put right now into the chat. Jenna Young, Doug Proudman, Eric Griffin Shelley, Itzik Mandelbrod, Christine Mascarelli Walker, Gloria Walker, Leah Schwartz, Joseph Ben Nissen Varochel, Susan Schiff, Sue Courtwright, Ann Lefko, Susie Greco, Hannah Carson. And we join together in our Mishaberach L'cholim. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Laimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We add as well to our list Christy Vernicki and Eric Goldberg and all of those in our hearts and in our communities and in our city and in our state, in our country, in our world, who are in need of healing. And we send also hope for strength and resilience to the hands of those who care for them. And we say, Amen. So we turn now, as we have just finished talking about both healing and also sending strength and resilience to those who care for those who are ill, to raising our cup for Kiddush, our cup of sweetness that we raise on our festival days and on Shabbat, a cup of sweetness that we are taught is filled to overflowing, just to sort of that bubble of surface tension on this Erev Shabbat, as even in the midst of thinking of those who need help and healing, we also raise our cups in gratitude. Gratitude for the sweetness, for the gifts that we've been given, for the gift of community, the gift of being able to join here together virtually, the gift of all of the small acts of chesed, the small gifts of kindness, the small acts of kindness that we have been able to shower one another with as we have gone through this first week of the Omer, this first week of the counting of the days between Pesach and Shavuot, that has accompanied us with this value of chesed, of loving kindness. And so we raise our cups for Kiddush. The bottom of page 25 and top of page 26. Savri Chaverai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki eleinu karata ve'otanu kidashta לעבודתך ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. L'chaim. And so now, just before we turn to Aleinu, we take a moment to count the Omer. And so I think I'm going to get my camera at the right angle over here to focus on our Omer counter. Yeah. And so we're counting the Omer. We're counting the days between Passover and Shavuot. The 7 days or the 7 weeks of 7 days each, the 49 days that elapse during this time. And we have just finished the week of Chesed, this first week, that follows us with the theme of loving kindness, and have entered into the week of Gvura, of justice, of strength, perhaps of strictness. So the day that ended at sundown, we counted 8 days of the Omer. That is 1 week and 1 day of the Omer. So tonight, here we go. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kidshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Al Sfirat HaOmer Hayom Yom Tish'a Shehem Shavua Echad V'Shtei Yamim LaOmer. Today is the 9th day of the Omer, which marks 1 week and 2 days of the Omer. And so as you can see, we have here in our dining room our Omer counter, which we made because when Pesach gives you egg cartons, you make an Omer counter. So we're tracking the Omer here at our house this way. And so I want to encourage people, especially those who are crafty among us, to maybe add another crafting project to your quarantine crafts, and then share on the Or Hadash Facebook page or the Or Hadash or anywhere where we gather online virtually. Take a picture and share it. I would love to see all of the cool and creative crafty ways that both in general you are making your way through this time of quarantine, and also the crafty ways through that you're making your way Jewishly through this time. So I want to invite you to share your Omer counters or anything else that you're creating as well. And we're going to begin to wind our service down as we turn together to page 26 for Aleinu. And again, we rise in spirit or in body. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tetz gedula liotzer breshit, shenatan lanu torat emet, b'chaye olam nata b'tochenu, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shalom shamayim v'yosef haaretz. Hakatuv b'toratecha Adonai yimlach le'olam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. We can be seated. And we turn in our Sidurim to page 28, and we also turn in our hearts and in our memories to those whom we've loved and lost in recent days, recent weeks, recent months, at this time in years past. I'm going to share the list of yortzites that I have here before me. And if you're saying Kaddish for someone who's not on this list, I want to invite you to share as well in the chat so that all of their memories can come to the fore for all of us as we gather in community for Mourners Kaddish. This week at Or Hadash, we're remembering W.O. Castor, grandfather of Suzanne Castor, Dr. Sidney Altman, husband of Barbara Altman, Margaret Marmion, mother of Jim Marmion, Nathan Savitsky, father of Marty Savitsky, Harold Young, father of Warren Young and grandfather of Mackenzie Learn, Eli Lane, brother of Edith Lane, Faye Schwartzberg, grandmother of Eileen Cooper Smith, Ruth Ann Mandel, sister-in-law of Peggy Mandel, and Nathan Carl Schwartz, the father of Eileen Cooper Smith. And I want to invite all of those who are in mourning, as well as those who are observing a yortzeit, to rise in body or in spirit for Kaddish Yatom, for Mourners Kaddish. And we add to our list that we're also saying Kaddish tonight for Ken Rosenberg. And I invite all of those to rise, along with those whose tradition it is to rise for Mourners Kaddish. Also adding to our list, dear friends, father of Sharon Starr, Albin Schlusars, and Margaret Kay. Mourners and those observing a yortzeit, as well as those whose tradition it is to rise for Kaddish, I invite you to do so on page 28. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemeh Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. V'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmeh dekudsha. Brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be a sweet, sweet blessing for all of us. Shabbat Shalom. It's hard to believe that this is the 6th Shabbat evening that we have gathered here virtually together. This marks the beginning of 6 weeks, or the beginning of the 6th week that Or Hadash has gone virtual, and I want to thank everyone so much for everything that you have done to both sustain our community and to help build it in this new moment, as we stay connected and perhaps connect in ways that we have never connected before during this time of COVID-19. I want to mention a couple of programs that we have both upcoming in the congregation and also ongoing. Upcoming events, there are 3 to have sort of on the calendar as we look outwards. The first is not this coming Sunday, but a week from this coming Sunday is our Yom HaShoah observance. It's also going to be here live streamed on YouTube. It's going to be on Sunday afternoon, the 26th of April. And our keynote speaker is going to be Bertha Schwartz, who is Dan Schwartz's mother and also a Holocaust survivor. And it's going to be an evening of memory, or an afternoon of memory through story and song. It'll also be a very, very special program, not only of resilience in general, but also of sweetness, as Dan gets to interview his mother about her own experiences. And so we invite you to join us here live over YouTube, or asynchronously after that point, to mark Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. Also, next month, on Saturday night, May 16th, we'll be gathering for Havdalah and a book release event hosted by or welcoming our own member Jules Mermelstein, and he speaks about some of the ethical issues discusses in his new book, So please check out the Or Hadash website for more information, and there will also be information about how to order your own copy of the book through Or Hadash, and we will be ordering them through a small local bookstore, not through a large chain. So also in an effort to support local businesses, I want to encourage people, if you're thinking about picking up a copy of Jules's book, to either get in touch with Jules himself or to keep your eyes to the Or Hadash website about opportunities to order in advance of the event next month, May 16th, a Saturday night. And then the last sort of upcoming one-time event we're looking ahead to at the end is our Tikkun Leil Shavuot, our night of study for Shavuot. It's going to be on Erev Shavuot, the night leading into that festival, which will be Thursday night, May 8th. And there's a tradition of that evening leading into Shavuot of having an all-night study-a-thon, where we learn words of Torah and do yoga at midnight and teach one another and review learnings that we've done over the course of the year in preparation for the mystical anniversary of receiving revelation at Mount Sinai. And I'm very, very excited to say that our Tikkun Leil Shavuot is going forward. As of right now, the plan is for it to be virtual. We have at least 5 speakers or 5 presenters lined up, some wonderful lectures, some wonderful study sessions, a yoga experience, and also a make your own ice cream demonstration and cook along, because the other tradition, other than staying up all night to study and reading the 10 Commandments at sunrise, is to eat a whole heck of a lot of dairy. And so get excited. There will be more information coming out in the coming weeks about this opportunity to all celebrate Shavuot together. And then lastly, I want to make a couple of announcements about our ongoing events. Each morning, besides Shabbat morning, we meet at 8:15 in the morning for Minyan Hadash, which is a minyan unlike any other. If you've been to a morning minyan before and have vowed never to go again, check out this one. It's different. We check in, we sing, we get involved in deep discussions, and it is led either by myself or by a rotation of members of the congregation, folks who volunteer to lead anything from yoga to writing exercises, to good old-fashioned folk song sing-alongs, to guided meditations, to everything in between. And this week, it was asked of me to share if we knew any of the topics for any of the days, and so I wanted to share that on Sunday morning at 8:15, we're going to have yoga. On Monday morning, we're going to have an exploration of our morning blessings, Birchot HaShachar, through the lens of 12-step recovery. On Tuesday, Minyan will include a conversation on parenting and grandparenting during COVID. On Wednesday, I'm going to lead sort of a spiritual exploration and discussion through the lens of the theme of the day of the particular day of the Omer. And then on Thursday, we're going to have another yoga or other physical practice. And on Friday, we're going to have an interactive prayerful discussion experience led by Shelley Rosenberg. And so join us for Minyan Hadash at 8:15, Sunday through Friday mornings. Tomorrow morning, we're going to gather by Zoom for Torah study beginning at 9 a.m. and our Shabbat morning service following. Links and how to join are on the Or Hadash webpage. And then as well at 9 p.m., we have our weekly Havdalah and Havdalah happy hour led by our education director, Maura Barbara. And it's a time to unwind and hang out and tell jokes and end our week together just with silliness and conversation, and an invitation to both bring your favorite beverage, be it tea or a cocktail or otherwise, and wear your fanciest and snazziest pajamas and hang out with folks for some good hangout time with no agenda other than to just be together. I think that I have exhausted all of my announcements. If I haven't, I'm sure you'll tell me in the chat or email me about the announcements that I forgot to make, or just come on to Zoom tomorrow morning for our Shabbat morning Torah study, where we'll call on one another to make announcements. And so we'll end together with Hamotzi. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. It's been wonderful to be here all together. I'll see you tomorrow morning at Torah study. Shabbat Shalom.